What do we most take for granted? All right, look in the mirror. We take ourselves for granted, don't we? We oftentimes put ourselves last. Take this time for you. Take this time for you on your mat. So the next 23 hours off of your mat will be more doable. The stuff you like to do will be more doable. It'll be doable with greater ease, doable with more mobility, more flexibility, and more balance. Life is good when you do your yoga. I'm Jan, this is 316 Yoga. This is your yoga from home. You're doing it your way, so you can do it. You can totally do this yoga. Don't worry about how the poses look. Don't worry about anything, but focus on how they feel. That's the big deal. If it feels good, do it. If it doesn't feel good, if it's causing you pain, back out of it. Don't do it. Do it to a lesser percentage. You know your body best. Listen to it, honor it, and just give it this time where you're not taking yourself for granted, where you're focused on feeling good. Our practice is 1 hour long. This is called Yoga Plus today. On Fridays, we do Yoga Plus. And what Yoga Plus is we throw in some Barre, we throw in some Pilates, we throw in some strength training, all which work to make you more flexible, more mobile, and better balanced and stronger. And that's what counts. Other days of the week, we do other practices. Like I said, they're all live start to finish. 1 hour, so it's like being in a class, but you have the joy of being at home doing it your way. So stick around, do what you can with what you got. All right, props, grab your props. You're gonna have a couple yoga blocks, some hand weights, or maybe it's a couple water bottles. Whatever works for you. I've got a bender ball too. It's called a slow-mo ball. You deflate it. So it's like a playground ball that's seen a lot better days. But the purpose of this ball is not so much to be a ball, but to be an unstable surface. And you'll see what I mean in a few moments. A word as you practice today that I'd like you to think about is this word. It's prize. Prize, something of worth or value. And what is of more worth or more value than that reflection you see in the mirror? Take care of yourself so you can take care of others. Your movement, your ability to do things is really important. Now let's get moving. Come on up to standing. All right, this is a quick practice. We're gonna do a lot today. As you're standing, lock in a stress number. On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10, what's going on in your body? How do you feel? Give it a quick number and we'll come back to it in a little bit. We're gonna take a confidence pose. Now if you have the ball, you might wanna put it up between your thighs and give it a good strong squeeze. If you don't have the ball, no big deal. You can still do the practice. Don't quit, don't give up. Hands on your hips, elbows back. That sends your chest up, doesn't it? Think of confidence. When you're confident, you puff out the chest nice and big like a proud peacock. Hands are on your shoulders at your waist, start to rise up. Get a little taller. Rise up as you take a big breath in through your nose. And that big sighing breath out through your mouth. Let it go. All right, so here's what you're doing. You're strengthening your feet. You're strengthening your ankles. You're working on your foundation. Say it every day because that's where we start. We start with the foundation. We all know that you got to be strong in the foundation before you can build on anything else. All right, so lift the heels up behind the toes. Come on down. You're holding on to your hips. Your chest is big and strong. Breathe in. Sigh it out. Lift and maybe hold. Now you could have a chair in your practice too. I'm going to come down to my heels and lift my toes up and give them a wiggle. Chair could be here for balance. Totally fine. And when we do our plank today, you could be near a wall and press against the wall and step your feet back to do your plank on the wall. Totally good. You got to make it work for you wherever you are. All right, settle into the feet. Wiggle your toes again. Plant your feet solidly and re-squeeze that ball as you take a palm tree pose. Arms are lifted, a little bend in the elbows might feel good. Interlace your fingers, palms to the sky, sway from side to side. Lateral flexion of your spine. Ooh, think of creating space in between each rib. Maybe reach your arms farther to the side of the room. Inhale as you come back up. Exhale, bend to the other side. Stretch it out. Let it feel good for you. And know, this is a good thing, know that in this moment, right here, right now, you're taking care of your health. So good on you. All right, there's your lateral flexion of your spine. Let your arms float down. Place your hands at your low back. Squeeze your elbows to the spine. Push your belly forward. Look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Maybe look directly overhead. Breathe. When you're ready, bring your shoulders back over your hips and fold forward here. As you fold forward, let your fingers reach toward the earth. Woo, a little bend in your knees might feel good. Breathe in. hollow out the belly, belly button to your spine. Roll on up, one vertebra at a time. Come on up to standing, shoulders over your hips. Tee out your arms and draw some arm circles. As you're drawing your arm circles to the back of the room, maybe put a bend in your knees. Fingers come down, knees bend. Fingers come up, your knees straighten. Still breathing into the nose and out through the mouth. Take your arm circles in the other direction. Breathe. Then as you're ready, come on up to standing. Think of like Nordic poles when you go walking. So start to do your arms individually, sending one back to the room and the other one forward. Just get some movement going in your wonderful shoulders. Breathe. Let's take that extended mountain pose, reaching both arms up high to the sky. Take a little back bend with the arms extended. And then float the arms down by your sides. Take a big breath in. And a big refreshing breath out. Big coat swing. Start to twist in the waist. Arms are heavy, shoulders are heavy. Look over one shoulder, then the other. Nice, controlled twist. Squeeze the ball. And you know you can close your eyes if you want to challenge your balance a little bit. And then let's finish. Bring your arms back to the midline of your body. Take a big breath in. Big sighing breath out. Shoulders release. Time for ragdoll pose. Okay, ragdoll. Hands to opposite elbows. Hinge forward. Look back towards your ankles or your knees or up towards your belly. Let the crown of your head hang toward the earth. Little bend in the knees might feel good. You're rock solid stable here. You got that ball between your thighs. Fingers are at your elbows. Wiggle your toes. Feet are solidly planted. Start to sway gently from side to side. Elbow back toward a knee. Other elbow back toward the other knee. Loosen up in the low back. Feel what you feel here. Doesn't it feel great on the low back? Do this throughout your day today. When you sit for a long time, which we all do, stand up periodically and do your ragdoll. Finish up, come back to stillness at the midline. Wiggle the toes again. Release your arms to the earth. Slowly roll your spine up one vertebra at a time. Come on up to standing. Squeeze the ball. Bring your hands to prayer center. Take a deep breath in. Close your eyes. And a deep breath out. Let it go. Little mantra, something you tell yourself. Let it be positive. Whenever your hands come to this position in today's practice, come back to that statement that's positive about you, the reflection in the mirror. Maybe you say, I am strong. Maybe you say, today is my day. But say something positive about yourself. Take a deep breath in. And a big shoulder softening. Breath out, release it, let it go. Let it all go. Nice job. When you're ready, let's hinge forward here. Hinge forward, release your hands down to the mat. Release the ball from between your thighs, take it to the top of your mat. Let's come down for a child's pose. Knees can be together, big toes touching, hips back to the heels, arms down by your sides. The ball can hold your forehead here. Let your arms be down by your sides. Rest here. Let your chest rest. Let your head rest into the ball. If you don't want to use the ball, bring your head down to your mat. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. You could have the block underneath your forehead if that feels good. Whatever feels right is the right pose. Breathe in. Sigh it out. An option is for you to have your knees spread wide, hips still go back towards your heels. Roll the ball forward if you want. Reach your hands forward if you want. Head can come down to the ball or a block or the ground. Hands can go on the block or the ball that's in front of you. I'm going to use the ball today and just kind of roll it around a little bit, feeling a little bit of a stretch in my armpits. Breathe in. Sigh it out. Let the outside world go for the next hour or so. If you would like, close your lips and breathe in and out of your nose, allowing you to build heat in your body and focus in your mind. Breathe in. Breathe out. As you breathe out, send your tailbone further back to your heels. Push harder into your hands, and whatever you've got under your hands, push it harder away. Breathe in. Breathe out. Come back to this child's pose anytime you want, or stay here if you like. I'm going to modify it a little bit. I'm going to bring it to a puppy pose. To do that, bring your forearms down, elbow underneath your shoulders, fingers spread wide. Adjust your knees. Everybody's height is different. Adjust your knees comfortably back and further out or more in to allow you to let your chest come more to the ground. So think of your tailbone going high to the sky. Think of when we do that cow pose, which we'll do in a few minutes. Think of how your tailbone goes high to the sky. Let your chest settle toward the earth. If it doesn't feel right and you don't want to get it all the way down to the earth, put that ball under it. That feels comfortable. Or put a block there. Breathe in. Breathe out. Tailbone is high to the sky. Think of how, if you have a dog, how they take that big stretch when they get up from a nap and then they lift their bottoms up and they wag their tail. Move your tailbone just a little bit from side to side. It's not a very big motion, but let it go, let it go, let it go. Breathe. We'll take this deeper when we do our cat pulling its tail in a few minutes. So much to do, so little time. All right, let's finish up. Take a deep breath in. Let everything be still at the midline. And a deep breath out. And then press on up to your neutral tabletop position. In your neutral tabletop, knees under hips, shoulders over wrists. Turn your hands so your fingers are back towards your knees. Wag that tail again. Little less intense. How does it feel? Wag the tail, maybe taking it more to one side and then the other. Feeling a stretch in your forearms here. Come to stillness. Bring your hips more back toward your heels. Feel the stretch here in your forearms. Let it feel good. If it doesn't feel good, take it less intensely. Don't do it if it hurts. This is an intense stretch in those computer muscles, the ones that seize up so much because you type so much on your phone or on your laptop or your iPad. Too much computer time. All right, let's finish up here in this nice forearm stretch. Bring your hands back to a natural position and then wiggle your fingers. Toes pose, ankle pose, back to our foundation. All right, bring your blocks by your sides. They kind of bring the ground up to you. Tuck your toes towards your shins. Have your hips underneath your shoulders and have a seat. Have a seat back on your heels. Breathe in. Breathe out, let it go. Now you can do lots of things with your hands. You can bring them to that prayer center pose and tell yourself your positive statement. Bring them down to your thighs as you soften in the shoulders and close your eyes. Or bring your hands to your low back and reach for opposite elbows. All right, chest is lifted, shoulders are down. Breathe here, send breath to your toes. That sounds so silly, but if you think about it, it's kind of cool. Think of sending breath to your toes to let the toes be soft. Breathe in. Breathe out, let it go. Let's come into an ankle pose. Hands on the blocks, tops of the feet come onto the mat. Sit back on your heels, use your blocks to push into to let your knees come on up. Knees come up, but they're glued together. You're balancing on the tops of your feet. Hold it here, let it feel good. Now flow it back and forth, your pace from your toes pose to your ankle pose. And you stay in whichever one you feel the need for the most. Maybe today you say, I'm taking this ankle pose a lot deeper. And you don't have to have the blocks. Your arms will work too. Maybe you want to lift the knees a little higher. Maybe that feels really good. You know what feels good, and you know what doesn't. So don't hurt yourself. If it's painful, don't do it. Just take it to where you can do it. Everybody's different, and every day is different, that's for sure. Do what you can today. Be thankful for what you can do today, but just keep coming back. I love the saying, patient endurance. And patience is one of the fruit of the spirits that we show on the screen in the beginning and that I often refer to at the end. How's your toes pose and ankle pose coming? Patience is so important. Patient endurance. Hang with it. Stay with your practice. Just don't give up. All right, so let's finish in this toes pose and ankle pose. Come back to your neutral tabletop. Toes need a break. Lift them up. Give them a wiggle, circle the ankles in both directions, and then tap the tops of your feet out on your mat. Let it go. All right, cat, cow. I said we were going to do that. Let's do it. From your neutral tabletop, Tuck your chin to your chest, tuck your tailbone under, arch your back up to the sky as you push into the tops of your feet and into your hands. Really arch the back as much as you can. And then cow pose, the complementary pose to cat, tailbone and crown of the head lift. So you're curving your body into your spine into the shape of a letter C in one direction, and then you're flipping the C in the other direction. That's your cat-cow. Keep it up, keep it at your pace. Exhale for your cat. Inhale for your cow. Let's finish in your cat-cow pose, or keep it up. I'm gonna do cat pulling its tail. Maybe you don't wanna do this, so keep doing your cat-cow breathing. I'm gonna push the ball of the right foot into the mat with my right leg extended. I'm gonna push into the earth and really feel the goodness in that Achilles tendon and up the back of the right leg. I'm gonna lift my right leg, I'm gonna bend my right knee, I'm gonna reach around with my left hand and capture my foot. I'm gonna press into the ground, I'm gonna kick into that left hand, I'm gonna feel the left collarbone open up as I look toward the left side of my mat, to the left side of my room, or over my left shoulder. I'm gonna bring the knee and the hand down. Back to a neutral tabletop. Lift the left leg, push the ball of the left foot into the mat. Feel like you're at a starting line of a big race. Push into the foot, let it feel awesomely wonderful. Lift the leg up. Maybe you wanna kick yourself in the bottom and just stay in this position. Keep your hips equidistant to the mat. Maybe reach your right hand around. Capture your left foot so you're crossing the midline of your body. Kick hard into your hand and look to the right. Breathe. You got it. Breathe. Open up. Open up. You got it. Open up through your collarbones. Come on down. Cat, cow again. Chin to the chest, tailbone under. Inhale, cow. There you go. All right, from this position, let's now go into a bird dog pose. Take the squishy ball underneath your right knee. See what I mean? You want it to create an unstable surface. Draw your right toes toward your shin. Send your left leg long and straight, drawing the left toes toward the shin. Hips are equidistant to the mat. Press into the earth. Staying right here is plenty of a challenge. If you have no ball at all, totally fine. Just lift that back leg. Right arm reaches and extends. Reach, reach, reach. Try to get as long as you can from your right fingers to your left heel. Pull, stretch. You got it. Tuck, left, right elbow, left knee under the navel, and then extend it. Don't skimp on the extension. Don't go 90% of the way. Do your 100%, and then back and stretch and back and stretch. Hand comes down, knee comes down, switch the ball to the other knee. Ball on that unstable surface, draw those toes towards your shin to be a little kickstand. Right leg lifts, right leg extends, right toes toward the shin. Hold on here. Press into the earth. This is a challenge. Left arm reaches and extends. Hold it. Push hard into the earth. Elbow to knee once or twice or however many times you want, however many times you like. Breathe and stretch it out one more time. Finish. Hand down, knee down, donkey kick, and fire hydrant. All right, that gets my heart going. How about you? Take your ball, place it behind the right knee. We'll start with fire hydrant. Lift the right leg to the side of the room. Little dog or big dog, it's all good. Maybe lift the knee just a little, or maybe lift it a lot. Your call. Stick with it. You know, you might think, oh, I can't do it. Get those can'ts out of your mind. Get those, I shouldn't. Oh, I just can't do it. No, don't should on yourself. You can do it. Get out here, try, give it a go. Maybe today it's just a few little lifts. And before you know it, you'll be doing more and feeling better. All right, lift the leg up, pulse it up, up to the sky. Finish, hover the right knee next to the left. Switch sides for your fire hydrant. Left knee gets the ball this time. Neutral tabletop gets set up nice and solid and aligned properly. Left leg lifts to the side of the room. Stay long in your spine. The movement here is coming from that ball and socket in the left hip. Breathe. Lift. Big dog, little dog, your call. You got it. Just don't quit. Maybe take a break. That's okay. Lift the leg up high and pulse it up. Hi, Betty. Hello, Stan. Tyrone, Marietta, Diane, Dwayne, another Dwayne, Lisa, Kelly, Rena, Canel, Zelda, and Irina. How are you? All right, how was that? All right, let's hover the left knee next to the right, plant the left knee next to the right, spread your legs wide, wide-legged child's pose. Arms reach long, stretch, hips go back to the heels. Come out of it. Let's go back to the right leg for our donkey kick. Ball behind the right leg. Lift the right leg up, knee to about hip height. Hold the ball good and tight by bringing your heel closer to your bottom. Pulse the foot up, up, up to the sky. Press into your hands, good and strong. You got it. Pulse the foot up. Pulse the foot up, hold it up as if you're stomping on the ceiling, and then hug the heel in, toward your bottom. Nice little kicks, nice little pulses. Dial your right hip down just a tad more, push harder into the earth. Even that left foundational foot is pushing into the earth. Stay strong in your core, you got it. Let's finish. Hover the right knee next to the left. Plant the right knee next to the left, other side. All right, on this other side, ball goes back there or no ball at all is totally fine. Lift the foot up, knee to about hip height. Dial the left hip down, push into your earth, and pulse the foot up to the sky. You got it. Keep pulsing. Breathe, breathe. Pulse it. Now stop with the pulsing. Keep the foot nice and lifted. Hug the heel in toward the bottom and pulse the heel in toward the bottom. The ball gives you a little bit of spring back here. Breathe. Strong hips, strong glutes. You got it. So important, isn't it? Breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. You got it. All right, let's finish. Hug the heel in toward your bottom. Now let's let the left knee hover next to the right. Remove the ball from behind that leg. And when you're ready, take that wide-legged child's pose. Knees spread wide, hips back to your heels. Arms go along to the top of the mat. Breathe in. Breathe out. Even everything out. When you're ready, hands come under your shoulders. Let's do a downward facing dog. Send your hips high to the sky. With your hips high to the sky, start to pedal. Start to pedal it out here. One heel closer to the earth than the other. Arms are shoulder width distance apart. Hands spread wide, fingers spread wide. Pushing into the earth. Pedal your heels, shake your neck, keep it nice and loose. Still your heels, imagine your tailbone going higher to the sky, and your arms aren't passive here, they're strong, they're pushing into the earth. Your body looks like an inverted V. Now if you would like, you can make your way up to standing by walking your feet to your hands or your hands to your feet. Make your way to your wall to do a plank. I'm gonna do a plank here on my mat. So I'm gonna bend my knees, come on down, and talk about the planks we're gonna do. If you're at the wall, push your hands into the wall and step your feet back, but have more weight into your arms. So you can do your plank on the wall. That would be perhaps the next evolution from a plank that you take on your back. Sometimes we've done that, where you lie on your back, push your hands or the blocks up to the ceiling, imagining the ceiling where you're ground. Maybe it's time to go to the wall and do your plank there. Totally up to you. Other variations, you can be in a neutral tabletop, sending your knees back, hinging your weight forward, having the weight in your arms and holding here in your knee plank. Totally fine, keep your arms good and strong. You could drop down to your forearms, elbows under shoulders. Adjust your knees, move them back a little bit more, hinge your weight more forward, having strong forearms holding you here. You could tuck your toes towards your shins and pop on up to a dolphin plank and hold it here. Take breaks anytime you want. I'm gonna take a high plank. You could fold your mat in half or more to create some extra padding for your hands. You could ball your hands into fists if that feels better. You decide what you wanna do. We set a timer for 1 minute. Let's go, Dwayne, 1 minute timer. I'm gonna hinge my weight forward so the weight is more into my arms. Timer is going, it's on the screen. You can look at the timer if you want, if you're keeping track. You don't need to keep track. In a high plank, your shoulders are over your wrists, your feet are hip-width distance apart. You're pushing the earth away, you're looking down between your thumbs, you're staying strong and solid here. We are 20 seconds in, hold it here. You can take breaks if you want by coming to your knees. If you're in this high plank, remember down dog, go back to it and take a breath or two, then get right back in the game. Hold here. You can do mountain climbers. We've got 20 seconds to go. You could bend one knee toward one elbow or one wrist and send it back. You could take breaks whenever you like. We have 15 seconds to go. You can step out with one foot, then the other to the side. You could do plank jacks for the last 5 seconds of your plank pose. Finish up, we've got 1 second to go. Come down to your knees. You did it, you did. A 1 minute plank, however you wanted to do it. Let it refresh your soul. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's go into frog crunches. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? Take your block if you want. Place it down by your feet. Bring your feet on up. Place your pinky edge side of your foot onto the block, or no block at all. Have your feet down on. I told you it was live. Believe me, it's all good. It's all good, right? What does it matter? Just like your poses, it doesn't matter how they look. It matters how they feel. All right, hands in prayer, maybe. Ball behind the low back. Hands in prayer, tell yourself your mantra. Either recline all the way or just back to that ball. And then start to pulse up, up, up. Little pulses on the ball. Hands at prayer center. You could bring your fingers to your temples, squeezing your elbows back. Breathe, little pulses. You got it. Come up more. Have your elbows touch your knees. Then come on back and pulse a few times. Then lift and touch your elbows to your knees. Come on back. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Come on up and lift, not momentum. It's your strong core that brings your elbows to your knees. Little pulses on the ball. Lift, elbows to the knees. Come on back and pulse. Elbows open, good and wide. Come on up. Elbows to the knees and finish. Remove the ball. Let's take the ball or a block in your hands. Come all the way down to recline. Then lift your shoulders up. Lift your legs up. Spread your legs a little bit and do figure eights with the ball between your legs. Move your legs a little bit. And breathe. You got it. You got it. Maybe legs lift a little higher. Maybe legs go a little lower. And you got this pattern going on here with that figure eight infinity sign in the ball. Maybe increase the scissor kick of your legs. Still working that figure eight. So you got to be present in the present moment to be doing this, right? And then maybe legs go higher, shorter distance between the kicks, doing your figure eights here. And then let's finish. Come on down to fully recline. Stick pose, arms overhead, toes point. Breathe, breathe, big breath in. Big breath out, Pilates hundreds time. All right, so bring your arms down by your sides. Lift your arms up a little bit. Act as if you're patting the ground. Maybe shoulders peel on up. Maybe legs lift a little bit or a lot. You decide where you want them to be. Shoulders lift a little or a lot. Pat the ground. Pilates' idea was to do it 100 times, but I don't care, don't count. You do it as many times as feels right for you as you strengthen your core. Pat, pat, pat the ground. Legs lower, legs medium, legs higher. Play with it. Breathe. Your 100s, your way. Breathe. Maybe a bend in your knees feels good. It's all about your core. It is getting stronger. I think we've done over 100. Let's lower it down, stretch it out, stick pose. Breathe in. Breathe out. There's your hundreds. Let's come on up. Maybe float on up and not use your hands. Float on up and find your 2 blocks. Let's get into the hips. Okay, here we go. Standing on your knees, blocks by your sides. Right leg forward, right knee over right ankle. Press into your blocks, send your left leg long. Left leg is long, feel the big stretch there. Knee of the right leg over the right ankle. Maybe hold on to those blocks, maybe press up to your fingertips, maybe lift the arms off the blocks and lift your hands high. Now press into your feet. Consciously take a moment here to press into both feet, the top of the left foot and the sole of the right foot. Find your length here in your extended mountain arms. Take a baby back bend. Reach to the back of the room. Breathe in, breathe out, stretch a little bit more. Find that mobility in your shoulders. Nice. Hands back to prayer center, mantra time. Maybe it is, I am rocking it today, okay? All right, let's surf here. Right leg straightens, right leg bends. Right leg straightens a lot. And maybe your bottom comes back to touch your left heel. Using those blocks, they really help. Walk it on back, walk it on forward. Maybe no blocks at all, maybe hands to prayer center, and you lift and extend, and then lower on down to the heel. Use your hands if you want. Try, just try. Use what you got and make it work for you. Breathe. Let's finish. Come back to standing on both knees. Left legs turn. Bring your left foot forward, knee over left ankle. Reintroduce your blocks to allow you to send that right leg super duper long. Put a towel under the knee if it doesn't feel good for the knee. What you're after here is that fabulous stretch that you really don't feel very often, do you? In your right hip flexors. Lengthen out the hip flexors. Most of the times they're compressed. Think about the front of that hip. When you're sitting, it's compressed. When you're doing this big stretch, you're stretching it out and it feels good. Maybe arms lift, press into your feet, maybe reach back, reach, breathe. Push into your feet, maybe reach a little more. Hands back to prayer center, hold it here. Maybe hands down to the blocks as you start to surf it out. Heel back, or foot back, bottom back to your heel. Stretch it, come forward, bring it on back. Remember, you can use your hands, you can use no hands, you got it. All right, hips are nice and stretched out. Whew. All right, let's bring the right foot up to meet the left. So sweep them on up and come on up to a standing position. Find your weights, let's do those. How are you doing? Stress number, what was it and what is it? Let's come on up to standing. And let's take these weights into our hands. Hi, camera, please. And here we go. All right, you got your weights. Bring them to your shoulders. Extend them up to the sky, like extended mountain. Palms are in. Bring them to the shoulders. Up and down. Lift your weights. Maybe one arm at a time is what's right for you. Maybe you've got water bottles in your hands. It's all good. You're here. That's the best part. Lift and lower. Breathe. Now we're going to switch our hands. Palms forward, lift. Bring your elbows back to shoulder height and lift the arms up and elbows to shoulder height. Lift and lower, you got it. Lift and lower. Stay strong in your upper back. Breathe, work on that good posture. Strengthen those upper back muscles. You got it. Breathe. Let's bring the elbows to shoulder height. Let's flip the hands so our palms are back in towards our ears. Then extend your arms long to the sides. So you look like a letter T here. Pulse the arms up, up, up. Breathe. Weights are going up, little teeny pulses. Maybe when you come up onto not so much the balls of your feet, just lift your heel a little bit and pulse and find your balance. Breathe, breathe. Breathe. Flip your hands so your palms are face down. Little teeny pulses down. Same thing. You got the feet going if you want. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Tee out your arms. Bend the elbows, bringing the weights to your shoulders. Elbows open wide to the sides of your room. Extend them out and bring them in. Extend and in. Maybe alternate with the arms. That's a little bit of a break if you like. Breathe. All right, arms are strong, aren't they? Woo, you got it. I don't know what size weights you have. Maybe you want to increase them or decrease them. It's up to you. Breathe. Let's bring the weights back to our shoulders. Let's bring the elbows to the front of the room. Lift your weights up and extend your arms forward. Let your elbows float down to the outsides of your ribs. Lift and lower the weights as you do little bicep curls. Same thing, alternate if you want, or do them both at the same time. Now, I've seen lots of guys, women too, but mostly you guys, that when you get them down with the weight, momentum to force them back up. Don't do that, you're gonna hurt your back. Lift and lower at the same speed with the same intensity. You know, when you lift it up, you're feeling the strength in the bicep, right? When you lower it down, keep feeling that strength in the bicep. Don't let momentum fling the weights on back up. Not good, not good. Breathe. Shoulders are soft. The strength is coming from those biceps. You got it. All right, let's work the triceps now. Lift the weights to the shoulders. Lift the weights overhead. Bring the weights together overhead. Maybe you ditch one weight. Hug the elbows in towards your ears. And start to lower the weight to your neck. So, just think about it for a second. What are you feeling here? The stretch is in the tricep, right? Feel that. Breathe. Make sure you got a good hold on those weights. Or maybe you just are using one weight. Maybe you switch, you know, if you're doing 3-pound weights, like I am, 3 and 3, maybe you pick up one 6-pound weight or one 5-pound weight and work with just the one weight. Lots of ways to do it, right? All right, let's finish here. Let the weights float down by your sides, drinking bird. Come on up to your toes. Come on up to the balls of your feet. Now bring your shoulders back over your hips. Sink a little bit into your legs. Back is nice and straight. Weight can be in the balls of the feet. Adjust your feet so it feels right. Or maybe you have your feet solidly down. It's up to you. When you're ready, hinge a little bit forward, not much. Bring the weights with a bent elbow towards your armpits, then send them back to the back wall. So drinking bird, weights come in, weights go out. Elbows bend, weights to armpits, arms extend, bend and extend, bend and extend. You got that down? Let's extend them long, pulse them up toward the air. The little ends of the weights are going up toward the sky. Feel your chest open up, almost as if you were in your fish pose. Now pulse the weights in, breathe. Maybe sink a little lower in the knees if that feels good. Maybe pulse in the knees as well. Find your balance, find the pulsing, find your strength. When you're ready, come up to standing, weights down by your sides, take a big step forward with your right foot. Hinge forward in the right leg. Put a little forgiving bend in the right knee. Arms hang toward the earth. Left leg lifts a little bit, a little more, or maybe a lot. Bringing the left leg up to about hip height. Weights are hovering above the ground. Breathe. Maybe bend the elbows to the side of the room and bring the weights towards your chest. Lower and lift the weights. Keep the left leg lifted as you stay strong in your foundational right leg. Finish, let the weights hang. Let the left leg meet the right. Roll your spine up, one vertebra at a time. Shoulders back and down. Right leg steps back. Left leg, you hinge forward into it. Little forgiving bend in the left knee. Hinge forward. Take a little bit of weight out of the back foot. Maybe today this is where you stay. But those weights in your arms, let them help you by hanging toward the earth. Breathe. It kind of helps as a little counterbalance. It gives you more confidence in keeping that back leg up. Maybe lift the leg higher as your back comes parallel to the earth. Don't forget that forgiving bend in the knee. Hold it here. Challenge your balance perhaps by bringing the weights to your chest and lowering them. You're strong. You got it. Don't quit. I think we're done here. Let's let the weights hang. Let the right leg meet the left. Place your weights down. Take a forward fold here. Look back to your knees.
Take your hands and grab your calves. Elbows are hugged in, fold in half a little more. Roll your spine up, one vertebra at a time, and come on up to a standing position. Let's do our balancing poses. All right, so we did our weights. Let's do tree pose, but let's do it a little differently. You can do it your way if you have a way where you love it. Maybe you've got your chair nearby. It's all good. I'm gonna root into my right leg, open up my left leg to the side of the room. I'm gonna take that like Barbie doll pose with the ball of the foot holding it here. I'm gonna bring my hands to prayer center today. Then I'm gonna lift the leg up a little bit, just like we did a moment ago in that warrior three. I'm gonna lift it up a little bit. I can always balance on the toes. I'm gonna lift it up just a little bit. Sole of the foot is in toward the lower leg. I'm gonna hold it here. You could bring the leg even higher. Don't worry about the knee today because you're not putting it on that leg. And hold it here. Open up the knee to the side of the room. Find your balance. Look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet, and then maybe grow your branches. Focus. Look at something that's not moving. Don't look at me on the screen. I'm constantly wiggling to stay in balance. I'm sure you are too, but you need to focus on you, nothing else. Hands back to prayer center. With control, touch those toes down a couple of times, and then bring the knee to the front of the room and plant the left foot next to the right. Other side, root into the left leg, open up the right leg, hands to prayer center, open the knee up really good here, and then come onto the ball of the foot. Maybe the heel comes in a little bit, hold it here, maybe lift it up a little and dance on those toes, or lift it up higher still. Let's not put it on the foundational leg today. We're challenging our balance. Arm lifts, other arm lifts. Nothing wrong with having a chair nearby to help you get through. No big deal. Find your balance. Keep the knee open. Breathe. It's a challenge, isn't it? Bring your hands back to prayer center. When you're ready, toes come down. Maybe they dance once or twice. Guide the knee to the front of the room. Plant the left foot and right foot next to each other. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Maybe it's mantra time. Your hands are in prayer. All right, let's do tree pose in the classic way. Open up the left knee to the side of the room. Plant the foot inside the shin today. Hold it there. Grow your branches. This time, push the foot into the leg and the leg back into the foot. See how much easier that is? You can do tree like a champ. Hands back to prayer center. Guide the knee to the front of the room. Plant the left foot next to the right. Root into your left leg. Open up the right to the side. Let the foot come inside the calf here. Hold it, lengthen up. Grow your branches. Push the foot into the leg and the leg into the foot to find your stability. All these little tricks help. Bring your hands back to prayer center. Guide the knee to the front of the room. Plant the right foot next to the left. You did it. All right, horse pose. Spread your legs wide. Heels come in a little bit. Bend into those knees, driving the outsides of the knees more to the back room. Hands to prayer, shoulders over hips. Sink a little lower and hold here. Maybe work your feet a little further apart. Little bounces here, little pulses. Coming down, down, down. Come as low as feels right. Shoulders over your hips. Now, come onto the balls of the feet again. Hold it right here, hold it here. Now pulse it down, down, down. Little pulses, come to your lowest pulse point. Then pulse your heels, rock back and forth. Down, down, down on the heels. Embrace the shake. Up high onto one set of toes, then on the heel of the other foot. So back and forth. Come high to the balls of the feet, sink even lower. Didn't think you could go even lower, right? Good job. Hips back over your or shoulders back over your hips. Breathe, sink lower and hold. Pulses up and down. Breathe. One heel touchdowns, the other foot comes up. Breathe, breathe. Come up high to the balls of the feet. Sink even lower and hold. And pulse, and pulse, and pulse. And finish. Heels come down. 5-pointed star. Lift your arms. Whew. Breathe. 5-pointed star. You've got it. Hands to prayer center. Foot meets foot. When you're ready, fold forward. Walk your hands down to the mat. Come down to your knees. Grab a drink of water if you want. I want. And we're gonna go into some bridges next. But before we do that, seated forward fold. All right, sit long with your legs extended long on your mat. Arms lift up to the sky.
Toes reach high to the sky. Hinge forward, grab your ankles, your calves, your feet, whatever you can reach. Hug onto them, and then send your gaze to your knees. Push your toes into your hands if you're holding onto your toes. Feel the nice stretch in your back. Look down to your knees. Maybe look back to your belly button. Breathe in, breathe out. Come on up, shoulders over your hips. Spread your legs good and wide. Walk your hands forward. You can always use a block. Push the block forward. Imagine your hands are on the ground with this block. Hinge forward, gaze down to the ground. Gaze down to your belly button. Maybe hands walk further forward. Little bend in your knees might feel good. Breathe. Come on back up, shoulders over your hips. Time for your bridge pose. Put your eye shade and your towel up near your shoulders. That's a good sign. Hands to prayer center. Bend your knees. Lengthen up. Exhale, slowly lower down. Your pace, your speed. Take it with control because you are in control. All right, once you're down, arms down by your sides. Bend your knees. Let's do bridge pose. Press into your feet. Lift your hips up to the sky. Pulse your hips up to the sky. Wiggle your shoulders closer to your spine. Lift and bridge. Lift, lift, lift. You are possessing strength. You've got strength. You're possessing strength and stillness of the mind at the same time. And that is a sign of balance. Think of when we did a hard balancing pose like that tree pose today. You had to really focus, keep pulsing your hips. You had to really possess strength, right, to stand on that solid foundation of one leg. And you also had to be still. That's like when we look and we focus up toward where the ceiling and the wall meet. That together, combined, your strength and your stillness is a great sign of your balance. All right, keep pulsing. Oh my goodness. When you're ready, extend your right leg at a 45-degree angle, arms down by your sides. Lift the leg up to the sky and pulse your toes up to the sky. Breathe. You got it. Leg back to 45 degrees. Press hard into that foundational foot. Now bend the right leg back to a natural bridge pose. Pulse the hips up to the sky. That pulsing now feels pretty easy, right? Lift your left leg up to a 45-degree angle. Push into your right foot. Lift the leg up, straight up to the sky. Pulse it up, pulse those toes up. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Leg back to 45. Hold it here. Push into that foundational foot. Bend the left leg. Hips go high. Oh my goodness, I can't come down now. Hips go high. Pulse them up, up, up. You got it. Root into your left leg. Bend your right knee. Take your arms, hug the right knee in. Keep the left foot pushed into the ground. Bring the right foot down. Lift the left knee. Push in the right foot. Hug the left knee in. Hold it. You got it. Left leg, right leg, come down. Pulse, 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 up in your hips. Roll your spine down, one vertebra at a time. Roll onto your right side. Roll onto your right side, forearm down on your mat, elbow over, under your shoulder. Now, let's come into a side plank. Legs long. Press into the earth. You can use both hands to press into the earth. Lift your hips up and hold. Lift your left arm. Look up. We're not going to be here long. Push. Come on down. All right, other side to your forearm plank. If you're properly aligned, you got this. All right, so properly aligned. Left forearm parallel to the top of the mat. Fingers spread wide. Left shoulder over left elbow. You can keep the legs down if you want and just imagine lifting through the waist. Try to extend the legs. Use the right hand to help. Push on up. Once you get up here, it's all right. Lift your right arm up and look up. Breathe. Hips are stacked on top of each other. Right arm lifts. Your left arm is strong. Hold it in your side plank. Let's come on down and let's come into a clamshell. Take your two weights or no weights, up to you. Come back to that starting side. Shoulder over wrist. This time you're going to bend your knees. Place the weight or weights or no weights at all on top of your outside left thigh. The thigh that's on top. Place the weights there. Open and close your knees. Close the knees, lift the ankles up, and open and close here. Breathe. When you're ready, close the clamshell, knees come down. Now keep the knees glued and lift that ankle up. reverse clamshells. Feel this in the hip primarily. Breathe. Let's switch to the other side. Roll onto your left side. I guess you're not really rolling, you're coming onto your left side. Forearm pressed into the earth, knees bent, with or without the weights, clamshells. Breathe. Maybe lift the ankles and open and close the clamshells here. Breathe. Let's close the knees. Let's lift the top ankle away for our reverse clamshells. Breathe. That's a lot for your hips. When you're ready, let's finish here. Come on down, remove your weights and come down to your belly. Superman and swimmer. Arms extend long to the top of your mat. Legs are long also and slightly spread. Nose is down to your mat. Lift one leg and or the other, or both. Balance on your pelvis. Lift one arm and or the other. Maybe lift all four limbs and hold. Fly like Superman. Kick your feet and swim like a swimmer. Fly like Superman. Be still. Readjust. Maybe lift the arms and legs a little more, and then start to kick and swim. Sweep your arms down. Bring your feet down. Hands come underneath your collarbones. Press on up to a seal pose, soften in the glutes. Come on back to a wide-legged child's pose. Knees spread wide, hips back to your heels. Breathe in, breathe out. Come on to your back. Once you're on your back, eye shade and towel are up near your shoulders, right? All right, so come on to your back, all the way down, supine twist. Left leg long, bend your right knee. Hug your right knee in, left calf is plugged into your mat. Circle your right ankle, extend or take your left hand, grab your right knee, and roll onto your left hip. Right shoulder stays down, right arm tees out. If you would like, the right leg, the one that's on top, extend it long and pulse that extended leg up, up, up to the sky. Rebend the right knee. Bring it down toward the earth. Look over your right shoulder. Roll onto your bottom. Hug the right knee in. Circle the ankle. Extend the right leg. Left leg's turn. Right leg is super duper long. Left knee, hug it in and circle the ankle this way and that. Right hand takes the left knee across the midline of the body. Left shoulder stays down as your left arm tees out and you look left. Extend your top leg, the left leg. Maybe pulse it up and down a couple of times. Maybe you see that it can touch the ground, maybe, or close to it. Bend the knee again. Hand comes back and just encourages the knee down. Roll back onto your back. Hug the left knee in. Circle the ankle this way and that. Left knee hugs towards left armpit. Right knee hugs towards right armpit. Rock and roll from side to side. Little low back massage. Draw little circles on the ceiling with your knees as you hold on to them. Little circles in the opposite direction as you continue rolling on your back, but keeping control of the core. Finish up, left knee to the left armpit, right knee to the right armpit. Send the legs down long and slow to your final Shavasana. Cover your eyes with your towel, arms down by your sides. Take some deep breaths. In and out, deep breaths. Let your legs rest, wiggle them and let them rest. Let your shoulders rest and be at peace. Here's where you can use your remote to pause your yoga and stay in your final Shavasana pose as long as feels good for you. And then when it's time to wrap up your time on the mat, just hit play again and you'll join us back right here, where we'll take a deep breath in and a deep audible breath out. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, circle your ankles, circle your wrists. Inhale, reach high overhead. Take that big good morning stretch. Exhale, bend your knees like you're going to do a clamshell. And bring your elbows down and roll onto one side or the other. Use your low arms bicep as a pillow for your head. Eyes closed, breathe here. Be thankful
for what you have, because what you have is enough. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Float on up to a comfortable seated position and we'll say goodbye. Crisscross your legs, hands to prayer center. What is your stress number now? Blink your eyes open. You did it. Stress is a lot less, isn't it? Congratulations. You win the prize. Something worthy and something of value. The prize is better movement throughout your entire day. Now go and enjoy what you got. I love you guys. See you on your mats tomorrow. Bye-bye. Good girl. You did a good girl. All right, Bonnie, what about you? Come on. You want to go for a walkie walk? Oh, you do, don't you? Good girl. All right, let's go here, and I'm really glad for that. Keep this in mind. The path is made through repetition. Keep showing up, and good things will happen. You know that. I'm glad that you're still sticking around. Tell your friends what the yoga is doing for you. Our yoga is free for anybody and everybody on Facebook and YouTube, and they can join in anytime from the privacy of their own home. Tell them about our practice, please. If you'd like to support our broadcast, you can visit our website. It's www.316yoga.com. Stay on your path, enjoy your yoga, and have a great rest of your day. See you on your mats tomorrow.